You've probably heard that meditation is supposed to be simple, right? Just sit, close your eyes, breathe. Easy. But anyone who's actually tried it for more than 30 seconds knows that simple is definitely not the same as easy. In fact, it can feel just impossible sometimes. What's so fascinating, though, is that this struggle isn't just ours. It's a challenge shared by some of the most disciplined and brilliant minds in all of history. There's this fantastic Tamil proverb, and I gotta give a shout out to author Sundar Rajan for bringing it into this conversation. It basically means, why are you tying a knot between a bald head and a knee? It's the Tamil way of saying, hey, you're comparing apples and oranges, which is exactly what we're gonna do. So what on earth could a legendary warrior from an ancient battlefield possibly have in common with a best-selling 21st century historian? Well, that's the big question we're diving into. I mean, on paper, you couldn't find two more different people. On one hand, you've got Arjuna, the heroic warrior, the master archer, an absolute master of the external world of combat and strategy. And on the other, Yuval Noah Harari, the Oxford scholar, a master of the external world of history, data, and massive complex ideas. Both of them, giants in their fields, peaks of human achievement. But here's where it gets really interesting. Despite their incredible, almost superhuman control over the outer world, both Arjuna and Harari admit to this profound, humbling difficulty in mastering their inner world. Let's start with Arjuna. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has just finished explaining the practice of meditation. And Arjuna, this ultimate warrior, this icon of discipline, makes this just incredible confession. He says, Kanchalam hi manah Krishna, pramathi balavudritam, tasyaham nigraham manye, vayor eva sudushkaram. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This is a man who can wield the most powerful weapons of his age, a man with unparalleled focus on the battlefield. And he's admitting that his own mind is more chaotic, more powerful, and harder to tame than the wind itself. Wow, that is a deeply human cry, and it echoes through thousands of years. Okay, now let's hit the fast-forward button, jump a few millennia, and we hear an almost identical thought from Yuval Noah Harari. He's super clear about it. For all his intellectual horsepower, his ability to analyze history and humanity, he says his PhD was basically useless when it came to sitting down and trying to meditate. In fact, he kind of suggests that an over-analytical mind can actually get in the way. But here's the thing. This isn't a story about failure. For Harari, knowing how hard it is was just the beginning. The guy now practices for 2 hours every single day. He goes on these intense silent retreats for 1 or even 2 months every year. He's so committed, he actually dedicated his book Homo Deus to his meditation teacher, saying that he literally couldn't have written his books without the focus and clarity he gets from the practice. So for both of them, Arjuna and Harari, the message is the same. The struggle is very, very real, but the rewards are worth it. So, this brings us to the big question, right? We've established that it's hard, even for the best of us. But why? Why is this inner battle so universal? Well, it turns out there's a very ancient diagnosis for this very modern feeling problem. Let's just get straight to the point. If a legendary warrior and a brilliant historian both find this tough, what's really going on inside our heads that makes looking inward feel like swimming upstream? Well, the answer, it's in our basic design. This verse from the Katha Upanishad, an ancient and profound text, just nails it. It gives us this incredible explanation for our whole situation. It goes, paranchi vyatrinat swayambhu, tasmat parang pashiti na antaratman. Okay, let's break that down. What it's saying is that our senses, our kani, were designed to be paranchi, which means outward facing. By our very nature, by default, we are wired to look outside, to see, hear, taste, and touch the external world. Our attention is constantly being pulled outward. It's our factory setting. And this is such a perfect way to understand the difference between concentration and meditation. See, concentration is natural. We do it all the time. When you're lost in a great movie or totally absorbed in a video game, your senses are engaged outwardly on that external thing. But meditation is the exact opposite. It's an act of reversal. You're trying to pull those senses back in, to turn your focus inward. It goes against the very grain of how we're built. And that's exactly why it takes so much work. But look, this isn't some dead-end story where we're just stuck with our wiring. The very same text that gives us the diagnosis, it also points to the cure. It offers this glimmer of hope that, yes, this powerful outward flow can be reversed. See, the verse doesn't just stop with the problem. It continues with the solution. It says that a dhira, which means a wise, a really discerning person, can make a conscious choice to turn their gaze back around, to look inward and see the self. It admits it's not what most people do, that it takes real effort, but it is absolutely possible. It's a choice to swim against that current. So, what is the single most important thing to take away from all this? It's this. The difficulty you feel when you try to meditate, it is not a personal failure. It's not a sign that you're bad at it. It is a shared universal feature of being human, hardwired right into us. And just knowing that, it can help you come to your own practice with a lot more kindness and a lot less frustration. So the next time you sit down and your mind feels like a wild storm, just remember Arjuna. When you feel like your brain just won't shut up with all its analyzing, remember Harari. Their struggles are our struggles. You are not failing. You are just being human. You're taking part in this incredible human project, the act of turning against our own basic wiring to see what's actually inside. So the real challenge isn't to get rid of the difficulty, but to learn how to work with it. You can think of the human mind like a lantern that's built to shine outward, lighting up everything around us. The practice of meditation is the simple, powerful act of turning that lantern around to shine its light on itself. The challenge is built in. The only question is, can you be that discerning one and turn the lantern inward